तो ठीक है, आज हम लोग देखेंगे यूजर मोड, कर्नल मोड क्या होता है, सिस्टम कॉल्स क्या होती है। तो यूजर मोड एंड कर्नल मोड, दो तरह के मोड पे आपका जो सिस्टम है वो काम करता है। तो जनरली जो आप यूजर हैं वो यूजर मोड में काम करते हैं। वट एवर डूइंग यू आर डूइंग इन यूजर मोड, एंड वट एवर द सर्विसेज operating system providing to you are in kernel mode, right? So let's draw a diagram for that so that you can easily understand this. User mode and kernel mode. It is also known as mode number 1 and mode number 0. User process executing get a system call. Execute system call. Last, return from system call. So in this diagram, we are defining two modes, user mode and kernel mode. And whatever the user are doing, whatever the process of user are doing, all are coming in user mode. That means we are in API mode. Either the user or any third party API will give the support for these. And whatever you are doing, like if you are opening any text processor, that means you are in user mode, right? And once there is a task of there is some task of any process, it should be executed in kernel mode, right? So till then, until and unless you will get a system call, you are in user mode. And once you get a system call, you will be the system goes to kernel mode, right? So let's say you need to read any file. Let's say the user process has a task of reading a file, and file where it resides, it is residing in SDD. So what kernel does, most of the functionalities and device drivers are with kernel. So kernel, we can say kernel is a mini OS, is a major OS, part of an OS, and everything, every functions, every services it is providing to user are totally handled by kernel. So if a process demanded to read a file, that means it will it will need a system call for accessing kernel, kernel mode, right? For example, we in our example, we have to read we have to read a file, right? So for reading a file, you need to access hard disk. That means there is the need of IO. That means your process needs a hardware, and for hardware, for accessing hardware, you need to you need to request kernel to give support for that, right? Because kernel is having all the services of OS and all the device drivers related to the different hardwares we have, all are comes under kernel, right? So once if your process P1 needs to read a file, that means you need a system call. For that you need to access a system call, and in this case the system call is read, right? So once you activated this read system call, you jump to kernel mode, right? That particular execution jump to kernel mode, and in kernel mode it will execute this system call and return its result to user mode, right? So that means in the process life cycle, all the process jump between these two depending on the nature, right? In our case we have to read a file from the hard disk. That means we need to access the hard disk, and for hard disk we need to we need support from kernel, right? So that's why at this time moment the process goes to kernel mode. That means you are jumping from user mode to kernel mode, and again comes back from kernel mode to user mode. That means there is a trap or jumping of kernel mode to user mode. Till here you are in mode 1, and once the system call activated, you comes to kernel mode. After system calls executed, you will return from the system call mode to user mode. That means you jump from 0 to 1. So these are the two modes of an operating system. One mode is for user, second mode is for operating system. For taking services from the operating system, process need to come in kernel mode, and after accessing those services it needs to come back to user mode, right? Understood my point, right? So these are the two modes of a operating system. And for accessing or for doing jobs in kernel mode, you need system calls. So that's why we have multiple system calls available with us, and we will discuss it right after that. And some operating system have some less number of system calls. Some operating system have more number of system calls depending upon their architecture, right? And so some operating system like Linux allows user to directly access the system call, but like Window operating system, it don't allow direct access of system calls for security reasons, right? But in kernel, because we have dual layer of security, we have shell over the kernel. That's why it allows to directly access system calls in shell mode, right? So let's go to the system calls. Let's understand system calls. These are the procedures. System calls are nothing. These are the procedures which a kernel provide, or which a operating system use to access any hardware or any services in the system, right? That's why it is also known system call. That's why we are addressing them in system call, because it is the part of operating system. These are the procedures of operating system, right? So we have numerous system calls with us, which we can directly access, or sometimes not. In case of Windows we cannot, but in case of Linux we can do that. Like if we return a program and we used printf function, right? So if you used printf function, that means what it does, it simply print anything to our console, right? That means monitor. So writing it anything to the monitor needs help of kernel, right? So for that, kernel has a system called write. Okay, so printf is same as write. Okay, so in user mode it is known as printf. In kernel mode it is known as write. When you write printf in user mode, kernel, what kernel does, it simply call a system call named write, and by using this system call it will write anything to monitor, right? Now understood the system call. So we have numerous system calls with us, and we can categorize it in some categories, like some system calls are file related, right? So file related system calls we have in the kernel are most common type are open. We are not discussing all, we are discussing limited number of system calls. Open for opening a file, read for reading a file, write, close, create file, etc. There are many more system calls with us, but we are limiting it to some most used, most frequently used system calls. These are the most frequently used system calls related to files, right? In the similar fashion, हमारे पास है device related system calls. So device related system calls, in device related system calls we have some most common system calls like read, write, reposition, repositioning of the device, and IOCTL to take the control of IO device, and we have FCNTL. These are the most common for reading anything to the device, for writing anything to the device, for repositioning the device, for take the control of that particular device, and to read to take the control of any file, right? These are the device related system calls, right? Similar way, we have some information related system calls. Information related means we want to know this some information of any file, any process and all. So information related, like get PID, as the name suggests, that means it will be used for getting the process ID of a particular process, or process parent process ID of particular child process, right? Attributes, to get the attributes of any file or processes. Attributes, get system time, and data. There are many. We are only discussing some most frequently used. That's why we return only some of them. Some system calls are related to process control. In the process control, we have load. Whenever we are executing any program, we need to load it to it into main memory. So load is a system call which a operating system use to load any program to RAM or physical memory, right? Execute Execute also is a system call. Abort, in some cases, the operating system used to abort some processes due to some certain reasons. For that purpose, it has abort system call. Fork, fork system call. It is the most important one. Fork system call is regularly used by operating system at the time when the system is having a complex task, and it used to create sub processes. So fork is used to create sub processes, create children processes, create child of processes, right? In process related, control related, we have wait. It is also a major system call. Sometimes operating system need to make any process to wait for some time. For making a process to wait for some time, it used to call wait system call, right? In a similar manner, signal is used for uh, for uh, for uh, for informing a process to do its job right now, right? Means it is simply signaling a process to do its task if it is in waiting. So to resume its job, it will use signal system call, right? Understood my point? You will we will come we will come it to later in process synchronization. So these two system calls comes when we read or we study process synchronization, right? In the similar fashion, process related, there is allocate. Allocate system call is used for allocating a memory to a process, right? Okay. And last not least, we have some communication related system calls. In case of IPC, inter-process communication, we used to use these system calls like pipe, create and delete connection, shared memory get, sh and get. Whenever the process are sharing memory, so to access that particular memory at particular moment of time, if it is in sharing mode, that process need to execute shm get system call. And these are the most basic system calls we generally operating system generally use. And there are numerous other system calls we have, like protection related, like if we say chmod in Linux, there is a system called chmod. That means this system call is used to give permission to a file for users, right? In even in Windows, you need to you are having administrative account and you are having guest account. So guest cannot delete anything from the any file from the system. That means it don't have any permission. But in administrative mode, you can delete, modify any file in the system. So that means you are having some mechanism of giving permission, right? But in Linux, we have, for that purpose, we have in Linux we have a system called chmod. Window generally perform these chmod system call at the time of user creation. It will ask you to give the privileges to the user, right? For accessing, like in C drive, if you are accessing any file in C drive, it will prompt you for the administrative right. If you are not a administrator, that it will ask you for the administrator privileges. Otherwise it won't allow to access those files, right? So these are the security related system calls. So these are the system calls we have whenever a operating system is providing services, or whenever a user is doing something, or user is generating any process, and process needs to access the services of operating system or services of hardware. That means it needs to access, it needs to go into the kernel mode, and in the kernel mode it needs to execute some system calls, and these are the some of the basic system calls any operating system has, right? So these are the main system calls. So what we are emphasizing in is fork command. This system call is very important. It will most common asked system call is fork. Fork in the gate question, in the gate they will ask most of the time about fork, right? So what fork does, it simply create a child process, and to identify a child, the return type will be 0. There may be 3 return type, positive 1 and negative 1. Whenever this system call is executed, there will be 3 types of return type. 0 means 0 signify that it is a child process, right? Positive 1 or any positive value signify that it is for parent process. It is a parent process. And the last one, negative means, or negative value means operating system is busy somewhere and it is not, the child is not created. Child could not be created, could not be created due to some reason. Either our operating system is busy or services are uh, in deadlock condition, so child could not be created. So most of the time it will not give this value. Most of the time it will give these two values, and we will assume that definitely if a fork is executed, that means there will be a child already created, right? So for example, let's say we have program of printing hello world. Let's say we have program main, in that we printed CS second year, right? It is a simple program. It will, what it will do, it will simply print CSC second year to the console, right? But if I write fork, what it does, it will simply create a child process of this. Here the main is the parent process, and what parent process is doing, it is simply printing the CSC second year to the console, right? And if we added fork system call before printing, it will do, in this case, if we don't do that, if in this case this will print one time, right? But in this case it will print this two times. How? Because what it will do, compiler comes to this statement, once it execute fork, it will create a child process C1, let's say, and parent process, right? So one, if you are executing fork once, that means a child will be created. One is the child and one is the parent itself, right? And these two will be having different PIDs. These two will have different PIDs, because operating system only know the PID, and it will understand it as a single process, another process, right? So whether it is a child of P parent process, but it will identify it as a different process, standalone different process, like its parent has, right? But in this parameter, it will also have PPID. That means who is the parent of this particular child, right? In the similar way, if we use to fork command, right? Then what will happen? Then it will create one child for one fork, its parent, right? Then next, in the next fork, what it will do? It will create child 1, child 2, and child 3 and parent process, right? And all are having different, they are different PIDs, right? If we are having three fork commands, three times we executed fork command, then one layer more will be added: C4, C5, C6, C7, C8, C9, C10, and P, right? So you can understand that if you are using three times for command, definitely the CSC second year will be printed how many times? 8 times, right? And out of 8, 7 times it is printed due to children process. So sometimes they in the gate they will ask, if we are using for command 2 times, then how many childs will be created, or how many childs will be created, right? So for that you can see that if you are using 3 times, that means to the power n minus 1 child process will be created, plus one parent process, right? Because one parent process will be there always, and to the power n minus 1 child will be there, and n is number of times fork is used, right? Right. But if they ask how many number of times uh, total processing will be done, it will be the to the power n, right? Got my point? So these are the system user mode and kernel mode, and these are the system calls, and what we understood that the fork is the most used command by an operating system, and if it will return 0, that means it is signifying a child process. If it is 1, that means it is signifying a parent process. That means return of fork for this C will be 0, and for parents will be 1, right? And when we second time we do that, for this C, C will be the parent of this process, this child, and C will come here, right? Similarly, right? We are for understanding purpose, we are creating different numbering, but in this case, C will come here again, right? And C will also come here and here. In the similar way, C1 will come here, C1 will come here, like that. Like parent is there, parent come here, come here, come here. After that, C3 will be repeated here, right? So for these two, this will be the parent, this will be the child, right? But in the if we see the whole program, that means we will have 7 children and one child, one parent, right? If we let's say if we execute for 4 times, that means there will be how many number of children? To the power 4 minus 1. That means to the power 4 means 16 minus 1. 15 child process will be there, and plus 1 parent process will be there. So why we operating system use that? Because for some complex jobs, it will create its some processes child for multi-processing purpose, right? So that that particular job will be finished in little time if we are not using for command, right? But in case of for command, that means you are creating subchilds and all the childs will be executed parallelly with the parent. So in this case, whenever you create a child, that means, let's say if you are creating a child of this particular process, that means a same copy of PCB will be created for child, same copy, right? And they don't share any code, any memory when we are creating a child. But in case of threading, you don't need to create its child. You need to just create a thread which share its code section or data section, right? So we will cover it into the next lecture, right? So for today we covered user mode and kernel mode. And to sum up the lecture, simply, whenever you are doing anything, you are doing in user mode, but in response of your activity, operating system calls some system calls to give you services for that particular task. It will call some system calls, and once that system calls is executing, that means the operating system comes to kernel mode and again come back to user mode once the system call executed successfully, right? And we have numerous system calls: file related, device related, information related, process related, communication related, permission related, security related, right? And most common system call for the gate preparation, we have fork. In the gate, they will ask most of the time, they will ask questions from the fork system calls, right? But most of the most frequently used are open, read, write. These are the most common system calls. Load, execute, right? Allocate. These are the most commonly used system calls by the operating system, right?